Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Mark with My Front Range Living, and this week we're talking about a pretty hot topic, especially in this market, and that is FSBOs, or for sale by owners. Is it worth it? Can I sell my house on my own without a realtor? So, specifically for us here in the Colorado Springs real estate market, it's really interesting, and we want to talk about it today for a really good reason. We just got done doing a for sale by owner transaction where we represented the buyer. And we had some really interesting numbers. And yeah, in this market, you're not wrong. This market has been super easy to move a house in. Yeah, it's a lot of work once you're under contract and there's a lot of stuff you have to do. But a lot of folks are out there and they're finding value in being able to sell the house on their own. And I want to tell you why you might want to rethink that. And I know what you're thinking. You're at home right now. Mark, you're a realtor. Dude, we know what you're going to say. But I want to back it up with numbers. And before we get too far, I want to tell you, specifically in the Colorado Springs real estate market, commission is always negotiable. And I want to say it again, commission is always negotiable. If your agent is telling you this is what the market standard is, that's fine. You tell them what you want. You have that authority. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. It's not lost on me that the trust ratio for realtors is not all that strong, especially right now. A lot of folks think that agents are just out there to make money, and some of them are. Don't misunderstand. I appreciate that. But for those of us who are trying to provide value and integrity to our industry, that's not the case. It's simply not the case, and this story is going to tell you why. So let's hop in, and we'll try and help you understand why maybe selling a house on your own isn't the way to go. So our particular instance, the buyer found a home on Zillow, and he says, hey, I want to go see this house, Mark. Hey, let's go. I'd be absolutely delighted to show you. We go, and there's no key. We have to wait for someone to be home to allow us access to see the home, which is fine, but that's an inconvenience in and of itself. So if you're looking to move the house a little bit faster, be prepared to be home to show the house, or at least have some way for the folks to get access. That's kind of an inconvenience for everybody involved. Regardless, we got there, everything was fine. We go, we take a look. Interestingly enough, when he saw this home on Zillow, they said, hey, it's a 4-bedroom house. And he's like, that's perfect. Well, it turns out one of those bedrooms was an office on the main level. And the reason that's a big deal is simply this. When it comes to appraisals, and everybody's going to have an appraisal, more on that in just a second. So the reason that the appraiser piece is important is because if that appraiser comes in and he says, hey, that's not a 4th bedroom, that dramatically impacts the value of the house. So make sure that when you're marketing a house for sale by owner, or you're doing it yourself without an agent, you got to know that you're marketing it the right way. That's only a 3-bedroom house. In this case, it worked out just fine. We were able to move forward, and it actually fits this particular buyer's needs. But that's a huge deal. Telling someone that they're getting a 4-bedroom house when they're not, that's a problem. And you can run into issues with that later on. So anyway, the other thing that it said, hey, there's a rough end for a wet bar. Super excited to see that. And so the wet bar is a big deal for this particular buyer. You know, not that he has to have it right now, but he is. You're like, hey, that's great. That's a value add. I'll be able to add that later on down the line. So we get to the basement, and there is no rough end for a wet bar. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to market your home, you're going to run into issues later on if you don't market it accurately. Folks could come in, and there could be some pretty serious claims in that space. And we worked through it. It ended up not being that huge a deal for us, but it can be for you. So if you're looking to go for sale by owner, make sure that you market your home honestly. You could run into some issues later. So anyway, we go in, we walk the house. Turns out this is going to work out pretty well for our buyer. We put the offer in, it gets accepted, and we go through the process. Here's where I want to give you some numbers on this transaction. Yes, this particular seller ended up saving some of the commission on because she wasn't represented by an agent. But that said, she continued to ask me to do the paperwork on her behalf. Agents who have an exclusive right to buy with their particular buyer, in this case I did, I only represent the buyer. I cannot legally do paperwork for you. That's your responsibility. This seller didn't understand the process, didn't understand the paperwork that was legally required to get this transaction going, and it ended up being an issue. So for us, yes, she even paid me a reduced commission, which is fine. It's not like, again, it's not about the money. My buyer liked the house, and we're going to move forward regardless. But Here's the deal. Specifically, she listed this house at $625,000. Okay. The house right across the street sold for $720,000. The house caddy corner sold for $697,000. So basically, my friend got a fantastic deal on this house, but more importantly, the seller lost a ton. Let's talk numbers. So in this case, at $625,000, all she had to pay was my commission, and in this case, on the reduced commission, she made $613,750, right? So that's pretty okay on a $625,000 sale, but hold tight. Because if she would have gone with an agent to actually do better comps in the area, Mark, what's the actual market value of the house? You know, you're pushing $700,000, and you're going to get it in this market, no question. So you list it at $700,000. Let's say that you pay full price. And again, remember, commissions are negotiable. I want to hammer that home. If you're looking to list your home, negotiate the commission. An agent's going to take you up on it. But let's say that full commit, let's say a 6% commission. That's full price, right? You pay 6% commission. If she would have listed that home at $700,000, on top of saving herself the heartache of having to do all the paperwork and everything that's involved with the transaction, she would have made $658,000, right? So yeah, you save money on commission, but you left $44,250 on the table, right? So it's super important, and again, I understand. The trust ratio for real estate agents is pretty low right now. And I understand that folks are looking to save money, especially in a market where it's a seller's market. And that's fine. But there's still value in using an agent. This particular human decided to leave $44,250 on the table because she didn't see the value in an agent. And if you're asking me, and I understand I'm an agent, it's worth $44,250 to get an agent to represent me in the single largest asset sale I'm ever going to do. It's worth it. So again, if you want to go for sale by owner, clearly there's buyers out there and we'll represent them in that space. We'll make sure that we get to the closing table. The downside is sometimes people are leaving substantial amounts of money on the table, so maybe it's worth it just to interview an agent and say, what does this look like if I were to use your services to sell my home? And then you take a look at the differences there, right? And make the decision on your own. Hey, as always, we hope you found value in today's content. This one was super personal, and I really appreciate the buyer working through the process with us and allowing us to be part of it. And we also want to thank the seller. While she wasn't a fantastic human to work with, we were educated quite a bit. And we would like to help anybody else who has the same questions. If you would go below, it would mean the world. Give us a thumbs up on today's video and like the content. And it would mean even more if you went below and clicked on the bell down there and subscribed to our channel. We're putting out content every single week to help you make Colorado Springs feel like home. Hey, if you want to check out what's going on in our area, our website is in the description of the video. You can go down there and check it out, myfrontrangeliving.com. Some great local places to eat, hang out, and just see what's going on in Colorado Springs. And you can search for houses if you're looking to move to the area. And if you are looking to move to Colorado Springs, you can check out our relocation guide. That's also a link in the description of the video below. It just gives you a better idea of some neighborhoods in our area, some that might fit your criteria a little bit better. You can check that out. That's yours, no obligation whatsoever. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.